Hi, my name is Terrence. I'm a senior software engineer and also a part of the Devs Like Us crew. And today we're going to be doing some Q&A. So how did I land my first job in tech? So I actually went the traditional route. I went to university. I attended Norfolk State University, and there I actually majored in computer science for my bachelor's, and I also went back for my master's right after to earn another degree in computer science. And so during that time, I was able to turn my internships into full-time employment by performing well, gelling well with the teams, and also networking during that time of my internship. Regardless of if you go the traditional route or if you go to a boot camp or if you're self-taught, I encourage everyone, if you have an opportunity to do internships before you go full-time, I encourage you to do it. There's a lot of pros there where you're able to learn without too many high-pressure responsibilities during your internships. And from my experience, it also pays well, and you're able to use that to build your resume. Have you ever failed a technical interview before? Yes, I have. But I don't like to say that I failed interviews. I like to just consider them learning experiences. That's how I kind of move forward. But yes, if you have enough technical interviews, especially early on in your career, there's a good chance that they might not go the way that you want them to, or you might not get the job that you want. But what I was able to learn is just that after my first failed interview, I started looking into the interview process for software engineers and developers. I learned a lot more about the whiteboarding interview process, and then I came across cracking the coding interview and other great resources, and you start to know that, hey, you have to practice for that. And so there's a lot of things you might have learned in your education that you might need to just brush up on and make sure that they're fresh in your mind before starting the process. So it can be done. Sometimes you might have some uncomfortable feelings, but it's definitely all worth it, and we all go through it. Next question. How was your first day as a developer? My first day as a developer was spent being introduced to a lot of people, trying to learn everyone's names, lots of training, and I do remember that first time I got access to the code repo and just looking at the code, and I definitely remember being overwhelmed. One thing that's different from university to being a professional software engineer is that this code base is huge and you didn't develop it all. A lot of times in university you're given coding problems and you do it from start to finish, and so you know everything that's there. When you become a professional, a lot of times these code repos have been around for years. The people who have developed them might not be employed there anymore, and so you have to really just learn how to break down code and learn how things are connected and slowly gain an understanding of what's going on. So that first day or that first job can be a lot when you kind of trying to learn what the software is doing, and it can be a little overwhelming the first time you open your code base. So next question. What made you want to become a software engineer? So actually both of my parents actually said like, hey, there's a lot of great opportunities in the technical field, and they recommended that I look into them more. My mom was an educator in the middle school system, and she actually signed me up for a technology summer camp, and so I was able to do that, and I didn't dive in right away, but by the time I got to university, I remember my experience there, and so I took the Introduction to Computer Science course, and so after that I was hooked and just ended up declaring that computer science was my major, and I haven't looked back since. So, but yeah, it was definitely, my parents definitely told me to look towards it. They thought I was a good fit. I always like tinkering with technologies and being creative, and computer science allowed me to do both of those. Next question. How do you get to know members of your development team? That's actually a good question. So I like to just see what they do. Me personally, I'm a foodie, and literally everyone has to eat food, so that's always a good way to bond and get to know your team members better. Also movies, and just being interested in knowing people. So if you want to know your team members better, it's always nice to just see what type of hobbies they're into. Software engineers are some of the most diverse people. Especially if you're on a really good team, you'll have a wide range of hobbies that people are into. So just getting to know people, ask questions. Hey, how was your weekend? You'll be surprised what your team members open up with. So I just wanted, if you want to get to know them, just try to be as social as you can.